What else do you want out of life, kid? You want kids?
I don't know. I really used to, but I don't know. Maybe eventually.
You're not too hyped up for it anymore?
Not really. Just kind of scares me. And just, like, kind of like what we talked about the last one. Like, having kids with somebody is scary.
Yeah.
Because that's commitment for life. It's not just like a marriage paper that you can eventually, be like,
Rip in half.
bye.
Veto. I can't veto a kid.
Yeah. Like, I can't drop kick my kid to their father's house. I could sign away my parental rights if I really wanted to, but that'd be fucked up, and it would just bring another fucked up human into the world, and we don't want that.
You think it has to come down to, like, a person you're with? It'd be like, I gotta raise a kid with you, or just any person, just like, I can't have that level of dependency.
I think it would come down to the person I'd be with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love children. And I would love to be a mom and experience, like, pregnancy. But
I don't want to be pregnant.
good thing you're a man. But I don't know. It just scares me. Just because so many things could go wrong. Just between, like, you and another person. Or, like, the amount of fear that I just have whenever my niece does something. Not, like, in a bad way. Just, like, the dogs run over to her. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine what that would be like being a mom. I'm very protective over her just in general. And so the thought of, like, having my own child that's, like, they could get hurt or, something could happen to them.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle it.
That makes sense.
Can't even think that way about my niece. Just, like, when I get two in my head, like, holy shit, the world is fucking scary. And, like, there's murderers and, bad people out there that do bad things to people. It's like, I don't want her to be out there and experience that. And I can't think like that because it's like, she can't be sheltered from the world. She needs to grow up and, be a part of society and be a child. But just the thought of having that fear with my own children, I don't think I could do.
I think it's interesting, like, our generation of just, like, thinking, like, I don't really want to pass down, like, anything bad to, like, another kid in the world.
Like generational trauma?
Yeah, like that or just mental illness, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the other fear. Like, I have...
Looking for her vape. Little fiend.
I have really bad anxiety. Just, I've always had it. And
You know why? It's because you vape.
I've had it since I was, like, 7.
Yeah, it's because you vape since you were 6.
It's not. Stop.
Anyways,
I don't know. I've always had really bad anxiety, and that was, like, the hardest thing for me growing up as a kid. And then on top of, like, having OCD and issues like that, I fear about passing that down. I also just fear being a bad mom. Like, what if my kids just grow up and are like, we want nothing to do with you?
whatever, one less plane ticket for vacations.
That's awful.
That's, like, another thing is, like, I think people try to test the waters when they get pets too, as, like, with a couple. It's like, it hinders you so much of, like, what you're able to do. You can't just, like, pick up and go somewhere for a week if you have, like, a dog, or if you do, it costs a lot for daycare.
Right, and, like, seeing how your partner would take care of, like, the pet. Like, say your partner's at home all day with your dog, and your dog obviously needs to go outside and go to the bathroom. It needs to be fed. It needs to have water. It needs to be taken care of.
It's essentially a child.
Yeah.
Except furry.
It's harder, I feel like, because they can't
legs.
talk.
Right.
And so...
they could communicate to a level of, like, if my dogs need to go to the bathroom, Jax will just stand out to the door and bark.
Bentley will just sit at the door and then stare at you. But, like, like, what if you come home and you realize your partner hasn't done any of those things for this helpless animal? It's like, do I want to bring a fucking kid into the world where, like, say if I go back to work and our kid's a toddler and you can't you haven't fed them, you haven't changed their diaper.
Right.
Like, they're helpless. They can't do it themselves. That's another thing. I also stand by the statement, I didn't choose to be here. I feel that every single time that I have to fucking pay my bills, go to work, just exist, have a birthday. My birthday's in, like,
Less than a month.
Like maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. And I don't know. I'm just like,
It's funny, I said that to my mom. Like, I didn't ask to be put here, and now I gotta pay taxes and car registration. That's bullshit.
right. It's like, I didn't ask to be born. So that's the other thing. Like, what if my kids grow up and, like, hate life? And they're just, like, angry and depressed. That makes me so scared.
I think it just kind of, like, adds to the, you having awareness as a parent of, like, my kid didn't ask to be put here. And, like, I think a lot of, older people kind of say, like, wow, time to toughen up. But it's also, like, you know, make it, like, enjoyable for them in life.
Yeah.
Nothing has to be, like, tough love and shit.
Right. Like, I think one of the cool things that parents now are doing is, like, gentle parenting. But, like, not so gentle to where kids are running around and just being maniacs and not, like, having any respect for people. But, like, the gentle parenting where it's, like, instead of screaming at your child because they don't know any better and they accidentally did something wrong,
Just have a conversation.
talk to them as if they're a real human.
Don't look at me, boy.
Funny story. We went to a restaurant earlier and this server smiled at me and Christian goes, "Don't look at her."
I did.
He didn't say it to the guy, but
I said it out loud, but the guy just didn't hear it. Because he had shitty hearing, probably.
It was funny.
Yeah.
But
You'll keep your eyes to yourself. Don't ever look at her. As if we're dating. I don't give a fuck.
he's looking
Eyes
out.
are the prize, bitch. In front of you.
He's looking out for Dustin. Don't worry, bro. I got you.
What else? You think you're gonna be like the fun parent or like the strict parent?
I feel like I'm gonna end up being the strict parent.
I feel like you'll be like a bipolar half and half. Probably the best way to go.
I'll probably be the fun aunt, but the strict parent.
The fun aunt. Yeah, like if I'm like, hey Zoe, you wanna watch my kid for a weekend? What would you do?
Give him all the drugs in the world.
It's time to learn about heroin and how to use it.
You just take the belt and
Pop the veins out.
you see the spoon? Get a spoon, a lighter, and a needle. If my mom watches this, I don't do drugs. I've never done heroin. I just watch a lot of movies.
Allegedly. We've seen Breaking Bad.
I've never seen it.
Really?
I tried to get into it. I couldn't.
You've seen Vampire Diaries 15 times, but you haven't seen Breaking Bad or The Bear or Hell's Kitchen or Kitchen Nightmares. Just name shit off.
I got to the episode where they're trying to dissolve the body in acid in the bathtub. And
Like
it
the second episode.
breaks through the ceiling. Ugh, it just grossed me out too much.
You got a weak stomach.
Do you not know this?
I do know it. It's just funny to emphasize that a little more.
Christian, can we go get clam chowder now?
It's free real estate.
Clam chowder.
Zoe's really impatient for clam chowder.
It sounds so good. I've been eating like all day, but I'm just hungry.
Metabolism fast.
Not really.
Fast as fuck, boy.
She a thick girl. She a thick little ma.
Hey, mamas.
Hey, mommy.
What should I title this podcast? Zoe's Clam Chowder.
Zoe's clams.